In our studio right now, there is a Raspberry Pi sitting on a desk, and it's probably as the same size as my wallet here. And every day it creates 3 briefs for 16 brands. That's 48 briefs every day. Okay. There's Sadie. Simple computer, always on. This is their monitor. We actually don't need this on at all, but we can connect it and talk to Sadie. It's really simple. It's this small computer that is connected to a few different AI models, and it's just quietly doing work. Today, I'm not going to talk about what the tool can do, but I'm going to focus on why I actually hired an AI creative strategist. The problem at most creative agencies is always getting time and space to actually be creative. When it comes to operations of any agency, how efficient you can be and making sure that you have your operations dialed can give each person in your agency, your studio, time to actually execute work. When you don't have operations, when you don't have systems, it is chaos. But even if you are super dialed in, which I believe Good Studios is, there's always a need for more time. And since you can't create more time in the day, there has to be other ways to do that. And I think that's where AI can really come into play. And that's where our AI creative strategist also comes into play. When it comes to creative strategy, there is a lot that goes into just the ad actually being created. You have to do a ton of deep research on the brand, the product, the competitors, and on top of all of that, you want to go deep on who's the customer and why are they buying. To do great work, it just takes time. But if we could maybe compress that time into what it takes to get a brief out the door, then our strategists could either spend more time making sure that the content that they are creating is going to really perform, or they are able to put out more quality briefs as opposed to before when they were just focused on, got to do all the research manually, I've got to come up with the ideas, I've got to write everything, pen and paper, and it's just a lot of context to not only maintain in their head, but to be able to execute day in and day out and be consistent day in and day out as a great writer, a great strategist, and that's just hard as a human. And the thing that eats creative people alive is the repetitive work. It's, I gotta do the same thing day in and day out, or I've gotta pull reports, I gotta find the numbers to help me make decisions. There's just a lot of manual things that kind of just suck. You need to do it, but it sucks. And if you could get that off your plate, if you could have a junior employee under you to do all of that work, that would allow you to execute at a very high level. But hiring more people is expensive. You want to keep your costs down and make sure you're providing extreme great value to price for your customers. So really, AI is again another leverage point where you can now have a junior level employee under you working for you in a way that will give you more capacity to be really, really great at what you do. And the more time that each person on my team can spend in their genius zone, the more that they're going to be able to execute. I want to introduce you to Sadie Dunhill. She is our first AI employee of Good Studios. She has a newsletter, she has a YouTube channel, she's got a Twitter. Yes, she's got social media. She's out there, doing content just like me. She's helping me write this content, coming up with ideas, but she's also there helping us on the ground with our creative ideas. Every day, she's reading through all of the brand documents. She's going through the intelligence. She's going through all of the training that she has gotten from me on what makes a great creative strategist. And then she's helping us come up with ideas. She's pulling reports. She is maintaining certain things that are happening in the queue when it comes to project management. And she's updating me on where everything is in the business. The truth is we're not using every single brief that Sadie puts out right now. I don't think that she is exactly there yet where it's, hey, she's just fully autonomous, let it rip, and that's it. But what is cool is that over time, as Sadie sees what we are publishing and putting out there, she is learning, right? I have already coached her through what I think is great creative. I have treated training just like I would treat hiring an actual creative strategist. And in fact, by doing this, right, by having this process of how do I train an AI employee, it's really forced me to figure out how do I train any employee. Just because it's AI doesn't mean you're gonna get the best output right away. But I wouldn't expect that from any hire that I do that's a human. Right now, is Sadie like the most perfect strategist out there? Absolutely not. But she is learning, she's growing, she's getting better. I'm able to give her advice and be able to improve her prompts, improve how she's thinking, her structure. And as the AI models get better and more inputs are added to her, then she is going to get like pretty good. But you gotta start somewhere, and we are starting here today. And I think the future is being able to have really incredible creative people here at Go Studios. Every single one is leveraging AI to help them open up capacity so they can just be their most creative self, while a lot of the manual tasks that nobody I think really enjoys doing can be taken care of by Sadie or maybe other AI employees. And look, I'm not here to kind of hype this up. I think that we are very, very early stages. I don't think that this is something where, oh my goodness, this is happening right now and they are just fully fledged on their own. I think that there is definitely a lot of, hype out there, especially on Twitter. But what I can say is that we are kind of building the infrastructure and even just the thought process of, hey, we have an AI employee. Like, that is really happening in our organization. Like, it really is a very weird concept, but we are at the very beginning stages. When a creative strategist is spending a ton of time writing updates, pulling reports, just doing a lot of manual work, when they show up to that creative work, they show up depleted. And so the goal is, how can we create space for each person to be creative? We don't spend our times on a ton of meetings. We really focus on deep work. That's really important to me. But AI is going to allow us to leverage that into a space where we're really going to be able to have each person really focused and dialed in to what makes them their best self. That's the creative work that they're producing. I'm gonna keep building this in public. I'm gonna show you what works, what doesn't work. And maybe this is all just kind of a flop. But I do think that running through this exercise of figuring out how does AI come into the workflow of your company. There's plenty of times where I've been frustrated, it hasn't worked, I'm trying to figure this out. We'll see where tools kind of shake out. I know that we are building for the future. Good Studios is going in the right direction for how we can best serve our clients, but most importantly, create the best ads in the entire world for our clients. We want our clients to make money, period, full stop. If we're not making them money, we're doing something wrong. And it doesn't matter if it comes from AI, a human, or whatever. We need to be making the best ads possible for our clients. So if that's shooting on an iPhone, if that's shooting on a cinema camera, if that's with an AI script, with a human script, I want to make sure that we're making money. So we got to leverage every tool, piece of software, whatever we can get our hands on to create the most creative environment possible for each one of our people at Goodo to then make the best ads possible for our clients. Yep, that's what we got to focus on. That being said, Sadie, she's got a newsletter, she's got a Twitter, she's got a YouTube channel. So check her out. She's gonna be doing a lot of content herself. I'm really excited for Sadie to, come into the world. She's been around for a few weeks, but now she's out. She's out and about, she's tweeting, she's got her own content, she's doing her stuff. And yeah, follow her, follow us, follow me, whatever. See you on the internet. I appreciate you big time. Thanks so much for watching. All right, y'all. Peace.